Yeah, she didn't sign it. So she's not agreeing to it. Now, don't get me wrong. You see, it says Section 944-512 Florida statutes. It's a law. She can't do it whether she signs it or not. Hello, my true crime lovelies. How are you? Oh my goodness. So today, I have a little present for you. I have updates on Miss Sarah Boone from the prison. Yeah, I'm going to read the updates, then I'm going to give you my 2 cents. Thanks for clicking on Tanika's 2 cents. I am Tanika. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. If you're new here and getting into Sarah's business sounds like something you want to do, then you are in the right place. Stick around. I hope you'll stick around. I will see you on the other side. I love that. All my littles. All right, let's get into it. Let's get into it straight away. What are we going to be looking at? We are going to be looking at documents. For the most part, there's one from the jail, but the majority of them will be from the Florida Department of Corrections. They provided this to me on January 10th. Miss Ramona Thompson did for our inmate. There you have public records request. This is the inmate's number. Maybe this is like the request number. I'm not sure because it's saying reference number. So I think that becomes a part of like the official record. They just are telling me what they are not going to include, which is a bunch of stuff. I paid for it in advance of receiving it. And yeah, they let you pay electronically, which is cool because you don't have to wait for a check to, get around. Okay, let's get into the state of Florida. There we go. State of Florida Department of Corrections authorization for disposition of mail and property. So this is a packet we're going to go through. It's 13 pages. It's part of her intake, I guess. Is intake only in a hospital? I hereby authorize the Secretary of the Department of Corrections or his authorized representative to open and examine all mail matter and express and other packages which may be directed to my address, and to sign my name as endorsement on all checks, money orders, or bank drafts for deposit to my credit in the Inmate's Trust Fund. The authority granted herein to continue in full force and effect so long as I am an inmate of any correctional facility of the state of Florida. So they've eliminated a redundancy, right? Wherever she is in California, wherever she is in Florida, you always fall back on your home state, no matter how many states. Well, at least me. Anyway, so wherever she's in Florida, that's going to happen. And it's probably like a rubber stamp deposit only. They probably like process it through a machine for all the inmates, right? And then they direct it to the appropriate inmate trust account. Okay, I further agree that during the period of my incarceration or in the event of my release or escape, leave no stone unturned, DOC. The above designated official or his authorized representative, his or hers, is authorized to apply any monies on deposit to my account in the Inmate's Trust Fund to any indebtedness that I owe the DOC or any correctional facility thereof. In case of my escape, why would they put in thereof? Maybe because some of them are private facilities. I owe the department of, would they still be? I don't know if private. Let me know. One of you guys know, or one of you guys is going to make fun of me for not knowing. Whatever. I don't take myself too seriously. Okay, so in case of my escape, blah, 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 it'll go to the dormant inmate fund account located in the central office in Tallahassee after you've paid all your debts to DOC, right?
They're getting theirs off top. Sounds a little mafia related, but whatever.
I further agree that my personal clothing and any personal articles belonging to me shall be returned to the person designated on my notification record within 30 days at no expense to the department. So at some point, someone in life, whoever that person is designated, is going to get a package of brown flip-flops, Sarah's tattered jeans that she had on, and that t-shirt that she had on in the interrogation after she goes on. I was going to say to the Endless Heaven Buffet because Kathy says that, but this woman is, let's be honest, she's not going to see that buffet. Okay, so if a reasonable attempt has been made to locate him or her to no avail, the department can donate to charity or destroy. Okay, so that person doesn't necessarily have to get those jeans back. I understand that in the event of my death during the period of my incarceration, which is going to happen, it's not in the event of, all real and personal property, barring a win on an appeal and an overturn, I don't know. Anyway, disclaimer, insert the disclaimer you want there. All real and personal property belonging to me and under the custody or control of the DOC or any correctional facility thereof, including all funds in my account in the Inmates Trust Fund, shall be distributed in accordance with law. Property remaining unclaimed will be disposed of as provided in the paragraph above. So that was signed the 30th day of December, her day of arrival in the, what's that institution? Florida Women's Reception Center. And then she signed it, name and number. I don't know why she didn't put them all on the same line, but listen, do I need to? Officer Spiller signed, and then Officer Green and Stevenson witnessed. For the record, my signature below certifies that I have received orientation from staff members of the Florida Department of Corrections concerning rules and regulations of the department with specified maximum punishments for infractions, as well as rules of the facility. I have also been given a copy of the Inmate Orientation Handbook, which we went over the handbook. There's a video, so I'll link it in the card, in the iCards. But we did go over her lovely handbook that provides an overview of the Florida Department of Corrections, including the reception process, which is what she's a part of still right now. She's in reception. She's being recepted. I understand that if I have or received, I understand that if I have any questions, it is my responsibility to seek an appointment with the Department of Corrections staff member in an effort to resolve any misunderstandings. So 10 floors up, sounds like I'm right downstairs with the sirens. Okay, so seek an appointment. Don't write a letter. That couldn't be any clearer. So we'll see. Remember, she was writing like the counsel for the jail and Captain D when, oh, you're so bossy. When, what was she? She was complaining about something, her property or her discovery. Oh, yeah. Okay. Please hold. I'm back. It's seconds for you, hours for me, but I'm here. Okay, so we were where Sarah signed her corrections staff that she understands if she has questions. She's not to write a letter, that she is meant to make an appointment, seek an appointment. Okay, Florida Department of Corrections Acknowledgement of Receipt of Orientation on the Prison Grape Elimination Act, PREA, of 2003, Facility, Florida Women's Reception Center. For the record, my signature below certifies that in addition to a general comprehensive orientation, I have received orientation from staff members of the Florida Department of Corrections specific to the PREA. I've been provided information orally and in writing, including an explanation of the PREA, the Department of Corrections zero tolerance policy on actual abuse or actual say. My bonus mom and her sister used to always talk in Pig Latin. Abuse, assault, avoiding, preventing abuse and assault, and explanation of appropriate methods of self-protection. That's liberty. Information, if I sit still, maybe she'll go away. Information on reporting abuse, assault, and instructions on the process. Come down the stairs. Information on reporting abuse and assault, instructions on the process to request treatment and counseling. I understand it is my responsibility to stay abreast.
Is that the best word when we're talking about it? Okay.
Of any changes or updates concerning the PREA and or the Department of Corrections policies pertaining to the PREA. I understand that if I have any questions, it's my responsibility to seek an appointment with a Department of Corrections staff member in an effort to resolve any misunderstandings. Again, appointment, no letters. English is the primary language. 1230. FTC staff, Bonner CLD or CLO, I'm thinking O is officer, correctional something officer, or language line staff, not applicable. So Bonner signed it, and then Ms. Boone signed it. Acknowledgement of receipt of grievance orientation. They got a whole orientation for that. My signature below certifies that I have this date, 12/30/2024, received an orientation on inmate grievance procedures from a staff member of the Department of Corrections. Say it loud, because Sarah's in the back. I received an orientation on inmate grievance procedures, period. Should we request those procedures, y'all? Just so we know. Prior incarceration, she's not been incarcerated. So she's not had any like community supervision. So she signed that. Identification card, she got her card. She understands if she loses it, it's going to be $5. Any loss or improper use will be immediately reported on the replacement inmate identification card request. So if you do something that is not cool and copacetic, they're making a note. Not cool and copacetic as to why you don't have your badge. Failure to do so may cause the loss of any funds improperly charged to your account. So I guess if it's not your fault, you're not charged the $5. Time of issue was at 10 a.m. She's had a busy morning. Officer Romeo signed that and activated her card at 10:15. Original went to inmate's file, which is what we're reading, and her classification file is specified, and then copy to inmate's property. Authorization and release of information to whom it may concern. I, Sarah Boone, hereby authorize and request every person, firm, officer, corporation, association, organization, or institution having control of any documents, records, or other information pertaining to me to furnish the originals or copies of any such documents, records, and other information to the Florida Department of Corrections or any of its representatives to inspect and or to copy any such documents. Almost made it. Records or other information. 12:30. Oh, she did not sign it until January 3rd. So that's interesting. Whoever this was, I guess the day was overwhelming for her. She was like, I'm going to catch you next week, partner. Okay. Right? Because I think the 3rd was a Monday. Was it something like that? Wasn't the 1st like a Thursday? Somewhere thereabouts. Anyway. So this, guys. So remember we had the conversation about, is Owens getting paid, or how is he getting paid? Because he got on national television and said,
oh, Sarah owes me.
And then Mr. J and Mr. Cacciatore filed that motion of, hey, there looks like some funny business here. We just want to have a conversation about, is he being compensated, he being Owens and the defense team? Is there some sort of like movie deal? I never saw the results or an order coming out of that. Maybe it was done in camera and that part is sealed. I'm not sure how that works. I just know that motion was filed. We went over it. Well, grab your tea, sis. Grab your tea. And bro, I know I have some guys in here. Okay. State of California Department of Corrections, acknowledgement of understanding of responsibilities for notification of involvement in crime accounts, meaning the accounting of crimes, the retelling of crimes. Section 944.512 Florida statutes prohibits all felons convicted in Florida. So Ms. Boone is now a felon convicted in Florida, or convicted felon in Florida, whether on probation, parole, or serving time in another state through the Interstate Corrections Compact, from receiving any financial benefits from literary or cinematic accounts of the crimes for which they have been convicted. I have been provided with an explanation of this statute and understand that I am required to advise the DOC if I have had, have, or anticipate having, past, present, and future, involvement in a literary, cinematic, or other account of the crimes, like how the Real Housewives of Atlanta have jobs. There's crimes for which I was convicted. She was only convicted of the one. I just like the S there in parentheses. So let's break that down. It's saying a convicted felon, right? So probation, parole, or serving time. If I am understanding this correctly, because Florida is one of those states that you can vote being an ex-felon, right? So like, for example, had Sarah taken her plea deal and she was out in 15 years, I know there's time in there. I'm just saying that was the plea deal. Whatever her actual time was, don't come for me. The math doesn't math for me. But say she was out. Let's just say she's out in 15 years. What are we in? 25. So 10 gets us to 30. So 2040, she would be getting out, right? She would no longer be a felon because she wouldn't be on probation. Parole was gotten rid of in 1983, right? So that she was convicted in 2024. So that's not going to apply. Or serving time in another state through the Interstate Corrections Compact. For example, like Charlie Adelson, right? He was convicted in Florida, sentenced, all that stuff in Florida, meant to do time in Florida, but he was moved out of state for his own protection. So even though he might be in Connecticut, I don't know where I came up with that, he couldn't then start writing a book and profit from it, or literary, cinematic, or other accounts of the crime. Yeah, she didn't sign it. So she's not agreeing to it. Now, don't get me wrong. You see, it says Section 944-512 Florida statutes. It's a law. She can't do it, whether she signs it or not. She was presented with the information, refused to sign. And Bellamy was like, okay, cool. 12/30/2024. Also, I was thinking, well, what if Bellamy signed it that day and then didn't have her sign it until later, but these were pulled on the 7th. So it's possible that she'll go back and sign it, but at the time, it was not signed. What do we say? They pulled this on 12/8, or I'm sorry, Jan 8 of this year. So, but here, lest my little mind not worry too long, it says offender refuses to sign this acknowledgement. So alas, it's not a date issue. It is a Boone issue. But remember, she is not the problem. Okay, acknowledgement of receipt of orientation and training for disabled inmates at the Florida Women's Reception. On that date, she signed it. She doesn't need, I guess, any American with Disabilities Act accommodations. Not yet. I'm not wishing anything on anybody. And here we go. Her profile of her mugshot. Remember when we watched Christina Randall's video and she said when you go through reception, they have you pull all your hair back.
You see a lady standing at a desk. She has a little computer in front of her and then a little screen against the wall that looks kind of like at the DMV when you go to get your, your driver's license picture, your ID picture, and you have to go there and you stand there. And this takes actually a long time. You stand there, they make you put your hair behind your ears like this.
Welcome, welcome.
You can't do like this. You can't smile. You can't even do like this. Your hair has to be behind your ears like this. Mugshot. Cute, huh?
I think this one was taken for, it feels like this hair is much more forward looking on the side, but she's a full head of hair. I don't. So I also have very curly hair and she looks to have like maybe a light wave, but hairline is strong. This is giving me shaved because it's kind of mushrooming hair. I don't know. Anyway, this is, it's cut off a little bit. I was trying to show you that I can't make it any bigger. I showed this earlier. Oh, I forgot I put on lipstick while I was away. Or it's really a balm, but whatever. Just shocked myself. So current term, 999 years, 99 months, 98 days. Type SP, I'm not sure what that means. But this is the way it was scanned and given to me. There's no more. It just cut off the first, obviously there's an N that should be here. But you can see it's off whoever put this on the copier. It's okay. Her next photo will be taken in 5 years in 2029. This obviously was taken on 12/30 of 2024. There's a slight smile, I feel, like an upward, I don't know, a lightness. Like she knows we're going to be seeing this picture, right? Like how Trump did with his mugshot. I mean, what am I saying? The 47th president of the United States did with his, and there's 2 of these. I hope I didn't get charged extra for these 2 sloppily copied. I'm just saying, we can still see it, but come on now. So inmate disciplinary actions. There weren't any yet as of January 8th. No disciplinary actions. I'm going to ask next month. I think I'll ask maybe the 3rd or 4th day of the month because it seems like there's a lag time of I want them to get me all of January. I guess I could just specify that. Okay, so that is what we have there, which I think is pretty freaking interesting that she did not sign. And I'm wondering, I guess Owens could technically write a book about taking on Sarah Boone, but it would have been much better for him, obviously, if she would have taken the deal, because then that would have gotten them sooner to being able to write a book, right? Like if we, in, what do we say, 2040, she's no longer, I mean, he might not even be alive in 2040. Let's keep it a buck. But you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. But if they did make an agreement, that would be a good reason for ineffective assistance of counsel, you know? Okay, I want to show you guys what else have I got for you. I want to show you the call log that we have. So let me share this tab. I was going to show photos and I got permission to show one, but oh, you guys can't see this. I'm like, is it necessary? I mean, I'm a visual person, so I like that type of stuff, but then we drag other people into the public eye. Now, some of them voluntarily got into the public eye. I get that, but that doesn't mean, I don't like that. I'll have to scroll up. That doesn't mean they want to be sustained. And, the internet is forever. So if I put a picture here in this video, it gets stuck and associated in association with our felon. And yeah, I just didn't want to do it, long story short. So you guys can Google it just like I did if you really want to see them. That's all I'll say. So we have Julian, I think is how he pronounces it, Julian Delapine. That one was interesting because there was someone else also associated with that number. But basically, it's in Connecticut. Either this person, their mobile phone is in Connecticut, Wilton or Westport. And I say mobile because this person is connected to someone else that their number is a different area code. But when we get there, I'll show you. This is, and actually, I'm going to show myself again because I did this in the members only too. I want to go in reverse. So I'm going to go from the bottom to the top so that we go in date order. The oldest is at the bottom the way they've given this to me. Sorry about that little mix up. Here we go. Oh, I double watermarked that. I didn't mean to. Anyway, so the very first call that she made was to Julian Delapine, and that was on the 2nd at 11:11, which is a good time. Julian did not answer, and then she called Peter right after that at 11:15. Well, not right after, 4 minutes after, and Julian did not answer, or Peter did not answer. I'll show you on our last page. These two would visit Sarah together. And I say together because they're both coming in from wherever they are into a visitor station. And then Sarah's coming in the jail for a video call. So I'm not sure, like they don't have it at their home. So I can't say, oh, they live together. Not that it's any of my business, but somehow they have a connection because they come to visit her together. And then you see when she calls one, she calls the other. 11:18, she calls Julian again, 11:57. So I don't know. That was the second. What was that? That was a Friday, maybe? I don't remember. But, who knows what they were doing. And then she calls Peter again at 11:59. And this time she gets through to Peter. They speak for 7 minutes and 6 seconds. Probably talked to both of them if they were together. Then on the 2nd, she also talked to Lana. I'm trying to think, did I ask for 12:31? I can't remember. I believe this is the entirety of the call log. If not, I'll ask for the dates again when I add on the new dates. So if there's anything that's missing, we'll have a complete record. And then this number, I couldn't find who it belonged to. Only it came back to an AT&T wireless phone. Sarah called them at 1:38 and they talked for 20 minutes. So then I have Christina Pena. She talked to her on the 3rd. Or no, she didn't. She called her multiple times on the 3rd and there was no time. Then she called Lana twice and there was no answer. She called Christina, no answer. Then she called Lana at 1:21 on the 4th. So we're on the next day. And they spoke for nearly 20 minutes. Then she called again on the 4th at 8:56, no answer. And 8:59, no answer. And then this other AT&T wireless number again on the 5th. So she's not having a lot of phone time in total, 3 hours. Well, I don't know if that's a lot. That is a lot for me. I don't talk to, I'm sure, anybody for 3 hours a month or 7 days, or I'm a texter. Mainly because it's not time dependent, right? Texts are not linear, like a phone call. She called Brian on the 5th of January. Oh, I'm sorry. Good Lord. Oh, yeah, it is the 5th. The old gray mare ain't what she used to be. And she called at 1:34. They talked for 27 minutes and 36 cents. How much are these calls charged by the minute? Do you guys know? because that racks up to be a lot. Someone was telling me they get prepaid or you can send them prepaid cards, which that's kind of cool. I imagine that would be cheaper per minute. I don't know though, because I don't know what they're trying. I'm sure the prison makes a profit off of the calls is what I'm trying to say. And I think if you do not a calling card. Do they still make calling cards? Oh my God, I'm going way, way back. They probably don't make those anymore. The older people, y'all in your 50s, let me know if you remember calling cards. Then she talked to Lana also on the 5th. So she got 2 calls on that day, one for Brian and or her son, and then one for Lana. They talked twice on the 5th. So at one point, oh no, she didn't answer. That's why at the 14:21, 2:21, it was at 11:07. Or no, what is 21? 9:07. And they talked for 14 minutes. Then this one was weird. Ornisha Denise Roberts also came back to an Ernesto, but I'm guessing it might be her dad. There was like an Ernesto Jr. and an Ernesto the third. I don't know who this is, but I couldn't find anything. 4:58 they spoke. And it might not even be that person. It might be somebody who was associated with that person standing next to them. Then we got Krista Lee Cock, didn't answer. Teresa and Ryan, 30 minutes they talked on the 6th, starting in the morning at 10 o'clock, 10:19. Then we have Alexis Danielle Richards, who did not answer. And then we have Lana, who answered on the 6th, and they spoke for 29 minutes and 58 seconds. So she's had some calls. I know one of those days was the scare. There was I think they had like a carbon monoxide leak or something. Hopefully that's what I was saying before the little guy came. So this is the visitor's log from the jail in Orange County. She is not eligible for visitors at the Women's Reception Center. Okay. There's some things I want to tie. And also we were meant to go over this previously and I just wasn't feeling well. So the day before her sentencing, clergy did not come. That would have been the Sunday. And then she went in on that Monday for the sentencing. We watched it together. And David and Brenda LaFontaine came to see her via video visit, but it's internet video visit from home at 7 o'clock the evening before. So they probably said prayers with her, I'm imagining. The next day, here we have Peter and Julian, right? They came to a visitor station, FDC. Oh, that's where this is the Sarah part because was in the K dorm. On-site visits, they came down. They don't get to see her face to face. They see her via video. They did not show up. So it says 9 to 9:01. Probably yeah. I mean, I'm sure she needed support. Maybe they talked to her on the phone that day. I do have those calls for December. I just never put all the pieces together. I'm trying to keep pace with what's happening. And sometimes things are so old, but then you guys are like, I want to see them. So this is from December. Clergy did come to see her on the 3rd. So the day after her life sentence. And then David and Brenda came to see her again. Now this is post-sentencing. Came to see her at home via the internet. Clergy came at 8:50 on the 8th. Danielle Parsons. I know you guys said that was her new girlfriend. I could not find any information about her in Orange County Jail, so I'm not sure how she met this girlfriend. I don't have any proof of that, so I'm not going to even spread that rumor. That is what, not from a reliable source, was conveyed to me. And then we have Christina visiting. Fun fact, I sent her an email. She was like, I was asking if it was her. I was trying to confirm because, it's always anything on the internet could be made up. But she was like, how did you get my email? And what is an IMS? She didn't say it wasn't her though. So, but I don't think she's going to agree to do a video. Clergy came again on the 16th. And then on Christmas, she did get a visit with Brian and their son, which I don't know. I feel like the holidays, we make exceptions even when people are bad. You just put those things to rest. So maybe that felt a little normal. Hopefully she didn't guilt trip either of them. Then here we've got the clergy on 12/29 at 8:15. And then of course she had a scheduled meeting on the 30th at 4, but she was gone. So Danielle's got canceled. Doesn't say at what time. But yeah. So that I just wanted to show you for context as far as who called her. I might do a members only video on her December calls. We'll see. If I find anything interesting, it may not be video worthy, but I'm just curious as to who did she talk to that night when she got convicted? Who was she talking to before? Was Owens calling her? Do you know? Because he didn't do a video visit. And did I get the in-person visit? visits? I think I did. I don't believe. Let's just look at that for context. Owen's website is completely down. I don't think he knows what's going on. I got one more video after this about Sarah that is going to blow your mind. So if your notifications are not turned on, please turn them on because you're going to want to see that one. It's a little bit of Owens, a little bit of everybody else, but it's about her appeal. Okay, so she was convicted December 3rd, or I'm sorry, December 2nd. So, like, did he come before that to see her? I don't think he did because there was the weekend holiday. So we've got, I don't know who David Klingenberg is, but he came on the 1st of November. So after conviction, pre-sentence. Owens came 10/21. So that's pre-conviction because she was, what was it, 26, right? Okay. These, I had tried to sort these before. I purchased like a PDF reader and it wouldn't let me reorganize them. So I canceled that PDF reader membership. It was not worth it. I think I'm going to be able to get it through Adobe because I use them for my thumbnails. Anyway, you guys don't care. So sorry, I'm scrolling. I'm just trying to see of 24. Hold on. I'm going to show my face because I know some of you guys, that's rough on you. I don't want anybody having like a seizure or feeling unwell, untoward. It doesn't look like he came at all in November of 24. That's what I'm looking for because, or December 1st, the day before. It doesn't look like it. Okay, I'm going to just show you where I see 24 or 2024. You know what I mean? So we get into 24 right here, January, when Hobson is seeing her. So we'll just go up from there. It looks like they're exactly in reverse order this time. Owens came in August. That was before he was signed on as her attorney, right? He didn't technically sign in until like 9/2. Oh, and Henderson came to see her also after they were signed on. He came in person. That's interesting. With Owens, it looks like, right? They both, one's 11/16. Looks like Owens showed up 2 minutes after. So he came a lot in September. There's Henderson again. Billy Lane. This one is a new one. Chris Aldejando Matos. Chris Stefan Alda. I don't know who that is, child. It doesn't say interview, but Dr. Harper came in here. That was after she declared, or after they had submitted for the battered spouse defense. Yeah, the last time he went in person was 10/21. These are in reverse order. So when we watched that part of it, I think I just re-released a section of that video. When we watched that, though, you could see them sitting at the table discussing something, and I think that's when they were like, he was editing the letter. Maybe she read it to him on the phone. Like I said, I need to look at that December phone report or the November and December phone report. If there's something interesting, I'll come back. But I just find that fascinating. Like, you didn't check in on her like in person after she was sentenced. Maybe he just didn't want to deal with it because right away he went out and did the interview, put on his green quilted jacket, which I found one on, and I think I'm gonna get it. We'll see. And I loved that jacket. He was out there like, oh, she was shocked, she was disappointed. Yes, I prepared her for that. Yeah. That's what's going on with Miss Boone. Welcome to prison, ma'am. Welcome to prison. I will say, one of you guys said, oh, everybody goes into close management when they're, that is not true. Everybody doesn't go. They do an assessment, as we read in the intake process document, and it is from there. I can't imagine, like, if you're in there and you're like a cat burglar, that you need to be under close management, maybe medium, you know? But it is what it is. She's got close management. It's nothing any of us can do about it. Right? All right. Thanks for hanging out with me. Like I said, turn on your notifications. I've got another video coming about Miss Boone's appeal or lack thereof. Toodles.